Hey, what's up? And today's another episode of Wait, Did You Hear? My name is Dave. I'm going to be the host with you as always. And with me is...
Hilary.
Who is my wife and co-host of the show. So today's November 9th. So how you doing? How you holding up?
It snowed.
It did snow last night, yeah. I woke up hungry, which is not normal for me because I'm not a big breakfast person. There's two reasons why I'm not a big breakfast person. One is because I'm not usually hungry. And two is because I do not like a majority of breakfast foods because they're too sweet. Have it be Pop-Tarts, pancakes, cereal. Cereal. I'm a fan of two things, heat and meat. So it doesn't matter what you eat. Any time of the day, it could be lunch food, dinner food, as long as it's good food. And you can eat it at breakfast. That's my philosophy.
You can eat anything for breakfast.
Well, that's not what everybody believes, but I was over there. I heated up some leftover pizza and I had that for breakfast.
No, you have to eat cold pizza for breakfast.
No, that's my whole thing. What did I just say? Heat?
I don't care. If it is breakfast pizza, it has to be cold. So there's a rule.
I don't like cold pizza. That's probably because you go back in time and you've had like the Lunchable pizzas, which are cold for sure. But you can also be argued that they aren't exactly pizza either. But that's besides the point. I don't have a problem with the other breakfast foods. Have it be sausage, bacon, eggs, some potatoes. Those are good. But when you wake up hungry, you don't have time for any of that. You need something quick.
Or you're just like me. I woke up hungry too and I just didn't eat, period.
That's just gonna make you hangry. So
Wow.
Anyways, so yeah. So in the last week, what happened? I got around to finally watching the first couple of episodes, the first episode of the It show, the Welcome to Derry, which I thought was pretty good. So we had a few shows that have been starting recently that have been doing pretty well, and one we're going to talk about later in this episode. Yeah, if you're a fan of the It movies, I think that the show does a pretty good job covering the same type of idea, which is not necessarily Pennywise, but what Pennywise represents, which is, making your fears come to life, making your nightmares a reality, essentially, and having kids basically die left and right. It's kind of a nuts show. At least the first episode was not expected. So if you're a fan of horror and you're a fan of Stephen King's It, especially the newer movies, definitely check out that. And then I went out drinking with your parents.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It wasn't too bad. I think it probably would have been different had it just been your parents, but it was like a little mini reunion too, because you had
relatives.
Your relatives, not my relatives so much, but your relatives for sure. But yeah, the reason why is because it was Christmas of last year. Mm-hmm. Christmas, you guys gave me a passport, which is almost all of the breweries found in Michigan. They sell this for like all of the states too, and we got the Michigan one, and you basically can go around to all the breweries. They'll give you a discount on the first like one or two beers depending on the brewery, and I haven't really been using mine. Your parents have been using theirs like crazy. They're up to 60.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I am up to 11. I was up to 7 in January, so I haven't used it since January. And have used it 4 times, I guess, in the last week. Though a couple of times your dad had to put me on his because they added breweries to the program. But those breweries, the 2 brewers, I think, were not in my book.
No, I thought you had to update the app.
You had to upgrade it. So you had to get the digital version, which means you had to pay something, I'm sure. Oh. He said he didn't, but I couldn't find any way to do it without doing it on my end. So we probably don't know what he did. He probably paid something. Tell us about your week. You went to a craft show.
Well, yeah, I went to a craft show yesterday with a friend, which, I mean, that's always fun. And you realize, like, how uncreative you are when you go and you see all these, like, creations by other people. But I didn't buy anything. They had some cool stuff, but I didn't buy anything just because we have a small house, and so like knick-knacky, as cute as it is, knick-knacky stuff just doesn't work because we don't have any place to put it.
Well, when I think about where you could put things, especially knick-knacky things like that, I think if there's things that you can hang up on a wall. That's a possibility. We don't have a lot of things hanging up on the wall.
Yeah, but I don't really want a lot of things hanging up on the wall. They always fall down.
Depends on where you put them. And I've been wanting to get like those wall shelves that they have for a while for other things.
But then it just adds a whole nother layer of clutter.
It can.
We have too much clutter.
It can, but at the same time, it can also make things look better, and it gives places that are currently cluttered more room to breathe because you'd have different space.
That's fine, but again, you don't need a bunch of just random stuff decorating when you already have a house full of stuff. The other thing that happened this week was my boss got her email hacked. Yeah. So that was fun because then she disappeared to a conference, and so we all had to clean up the aftermath.
Well, yeah,
of that.
But it's not just being hacked. It's the fact that she is a pretty big figure in the town, which means that her reach, if she's hacked...
It was a far reach.
It was basically the whole town at that point.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
It was fun. And my job's awful in general, so this just added another layer of just unpleasantness. I'm
sure you'll bring that up later again in the grievances.
Probably.
So the theme of this episode, I don't know if we're going to keep on doing themes, but I like it. The theme of this episode is body swap. What do you think of that?
What?
It's body swap. So the question of the day.
Riddle me this. What did you say? Oh, that's right. It's the question of the day.
Hilary, what would men hate the most if they switch bodies with a woman?
Periods? Childbirth? Like... I mean, anything that requires, like, pain and discomfort, because we all know that, like, the man cold is real, and they can't handle, like, the most mild inconvenience.
That's a good point.
So, therefore, any type of inconvenience that women have to deal with on a regular basis is just, they couldn't handle it.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I kind of figured you would say pregnancy or, you know, period or something like that.
Yeah.
But, like, so when I also said the same question of the day for me, what would women hate the most if they switch bodies with a man? I mean, they get kicked in the gonads is a good one, I think. But you know what? The man cold. I'll stick with that. You don't know what the man cold is until you've experienced it yourself. You'll be like, how do you live? How do you deal? I'll be like, exactly.
I don't think so, because I can be completely miserable with whatever I have, and shit still needs to get done. So you still have to keep going.
Yeah, I guess that's the question of the day, but it kind of leads into the rest of the podcast. Because like I did say, the theme of the episode is body swap. That'll come back later in the episode. However, we're going to look at the special of the day.
It's the special of the day, the special of the freaking day.
So, we got a lot of things going on this coming week from today, the 9th, to whatever the heck the next week is, the 15th, I think. So, there's one holiday-ish thing that's going on literally all week from today to the end of the week, and that's literally Dear Santa week, Dear Santa letter week. This is takes place during the second week in November, takes place from, again, 9th to the 15th. Children can write letters to Santa Claus and receive response from the North Pole. Families throughout the United States are rushing beyond their Thanksgiving celebrations and into the Christmas season. Again, skipping Thanksgiving.
Nobody cares about Thanksgiving.
Though, I don't understand why you have to write Santa this early.
I don't know, to put your claim on whatever you want so it doesn't get sold out.
Well, that's writing to your parents.
Well, whatever.
That's true, because with Santa, you can make it last second. But tomorrow is November 10th. That is Sesame Street Day. The 11th is Death and or Duty Day, which is something that marked the end of World War I. Honors the people who gave their lives fighting for their countries. This holiday remembers the utter ruin created by the Great War to ensure a conflict like this never happens again.
Oh, that was successful.
Do you think they celebrated that immediately after World War I and into World War II? Because it's not a very good holiday then.
I have no idea.
I don't know either. I guess I didn't look that deeply into it. The next day after that is Wednesday, November 12th, which is Chicken Soup for the Soul Day.
Those books were so big.
They were. I read almost all of them when they were at their peak.
Yeah, like there was just one. I swear they would just come out with a new one all the time.
They did. I read Chicken Soup. Did they have Chicken Soup for the Soul like 1 and then 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and then they had like for kids, for teenagers,
teens, for moms, for everything, for pet lovers. Who knows? I mean, they had them for everybody.
And it was good. I actually I enjoyed reading them. I think, and I'm not a huge fan of nonfiction books. However, that was an example of a nonfiction book that I did enjoy reading. November 13th, Thursday, is National Dream Destination Day. What's your dream destination?
I don't have one.
Oh, God. I imagine mine is something along the lines of Iceland.
Not anymore. They have mosquitoes now.
They can have mosquitoes. We have way more mosquitoes than them, and you know it.
Well, probably, but just goes to show you ruin everything in this world.
So we go on to November 14th, which is Friday of this week, which is National Pickle Day.
Gross.
Perfect. It's probably my favorite day of the week. And then Saturday is actually, there's 2 holidays that are separate but kind of similar, and they both have to do with writing. One's called I Love to Write Day, which was created by an author who just wanted to give people a day to people that like to read, to give them a chance and a reason to write, which is cool. But it's also Day of the Imprisoned Writer Day, which is a holiday that's supposed to raise awareness for censorship, specifically harassment, persecution of writers, journalists worldwide. Censorship is a growing problem today, with many government agencies spying on their citizens, especially anti-vocal government critics, whistleblowers, and political activists. In some countries, freedom of the press is non-existent, and independent journalism results in arbitrary detention. Human rights organizations and groups dedicated to protecting free speech distribute banned materials in some parts of the world. They also invite advocates, writers, and reporters to discuss the state of independent journalism and free speech.
Okay.
That's copy-paste, obviously, but I think that's a pretty cool idea because, yes, we do have problems with censorship, obviously in the world as a whole, but a little bit more so in the U.S. now than ever before, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
But yeah, those were the specials of the day, or the week, I should say, the days, which would normally bring us to Kid Corner. However, Kid Corner has been canceled, apparently, because the kids said no. So that's it. Kid Corner's canceled.
Okay.
Let's go into Recipe of the Week.
Who's that cooking? My hunger's peaked. Holy crap, it's the recipe of the week.
There really wasn't one.
Not really. We did have an idea here, which was kind of a throw together pasta type of dish, which was a homemade ramen recipe.
Yeah, because one of our kids loves ramen and would eat it every day. But I worry about the sodium content and the fact that it's not very balanced, and just flavored noodles is not the best option for a nutritious meal. So we did throw together some random stuff. So basically we had the ramen broth, which is like a chicken broth with ginger and garlic and soy sauce, and the noodles. But then we also had chicken that we could add into it. We had vegetables we could add into it. We had green onions. And I was really, really hoping that he would at least opt to put some chicken and the green onions, because he likes onions, into his ramen. But no. It was just broth and noodles, like usual.
And so, what I found interesting about this was because the world food aisle in our grocery store had the Japanese and stuff like that food, and had literally the ramen noodles that you can get, and they also do have the broth for ramen, but we didn't get that kind, did we?
No.
We got just the regular Swanson broth that was made for ramen.
Yeah, it was like a brand new product, which is why we ended up back in the world foods aisle.
Because we wanted to try it. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting on its own, and I will be honest, I did probably prefer the broth here than with the packets that you get from instant noodles or whatever. I did prefer it. I liked the soy flavor, because the other one, it just kind of tastes like your regular chicken broth, but like dialed up to 11 on the salt content. That's what it tastes like with your instant noodles packets.
I wouldn't know. I have yet in my entire life to eat one of those.
You might like it.
I might, but I kind of just don't want to.
However, if you start thinking about how much it costs to put all of this together and how much was made for like saving it for later and all that, instant noodles is probably still far cheaper.
It is. It's just, I was just trying to get him to venture out a little bit.
So, do you recommend making ramen at home?
If you want a more balanced meal,
that's
then
true.
Absolutely.
Adding chicken was a good idea. I think adding chicken was a good idea, and I always like vegetables with my ramen. That's one of the main reasons I don't go for instant noodle ramen unless I have some frozen mixed veggies that I have to kind of throw into my instant ramen. But yeah, so it depends. I also think that I recommend it if you want to try something a little bit different and you're a fan of ramen and you're okay and you're open to trying some different things but similar. That brings us to the book of the week.
It's the book of the week. Yeah.
All right, so this week, this was my idea, I guess you can say. This was a story that I was waiting a long time for them to release since I heard that they were going to make it. And it came out only a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks ago or so. It is a book that is written by both Nicholas Sparks and M. Night Shyamalan, and that is Remain. So this book it's a supernatural romance, okay? It is ultimately about this architect that's building a house for a couple of friends, and while he's building it, he's staying at an old bed and breakfast. It's an abandoned bed and breakfast, and while he's there, he sees the ghost of a young woman who he doesn't realize is a ghost at first, but quickly finds out that that's exactly the case, and she doesn't know she's dead. At least the daytime version of her doesn't, because it is split between daytime and nighttime. The daytime version is very much Nicholas Sparks' floofy, corny writing, exactly what you expect.
Zero chemistry.
Chemistry's fine.
No.
And then the nighttime version is very much M. Night Shyamalan, where it's dark, it's tense, it's scary, it's gory, it's the Sixth Sense.
Is it?
Yes. That's what I got out of it. There's definitely blood. There's definitely grotesque imagery. And then the time where the ghost screams and stuff like that at the guy's face and makes him fall over and stuff.
Yeah, I found it all to be very superficial and I did not appreciate it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about the story. There's a couple of interesting things to note here. So, before M. Night Shyamalan made it big, before he did Sixth Sense, I should say, he did a couple of very small movies, some comedies, some romance and stuff like that. I don't even think I've seen those movies. But after he did those movies, he was approached to adapt The Notebook. He didn't eventually do it because he was doing The Sixth Sense, so he was busy. But he kind of found it to be kismet. Now, I found this out because of the Q&A at the end of the Remain book. M. Night Shyamalan found it to be kind of fate that he was approached later to, be in talks with Nicholas Sparks. Now, what they did was they separately came up with ideas for what this book should be. What would work for, Nicholas Sparks' audience as well as M. Night's audience and what that might look like. So they both came up with ideas, and then they met, and they kind of went over both of the ideas, and Remain, the end result, is M. Night's idea. It is his story. Though it is Nicholas Sparks' writing in the novel, obviously. And that makes me very curious about the movie, because the movie is going to be M. Night's writing.
Maybe it'll be better.
Well, here's the that's just the thing. I think, and I said this in my my review on Goodreads and everything, I said that I do believe that this has the potential of being one of the best Nicholas Sparks adaptation once it's turned into a movie. The problem with it is I've never read Nicholas Sparks before. I've only ever saw his movies. And I saw all of his movies. However, you're used to the dialogue being corny in all of his movies, and I kind of figured the same would be in the book, and that's true, but I wasn't really geared up and ready to read a Nicholas Sparks book because not only is the dialogue corny, but all the inner dialogue is as well. So basically the whole book is that. So I was not ready for that, and I had to take a little bit of a mental break to get myself accustomed to how the book was going to be. And then after that, I was okay with it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it was not my favorite.
Okay.
There's a million stories that are better, and I did not appreciate this one.
Well, I personally liked the night and day aspect. I thought it was an interesting take on a haunting story. It had a little bit of a whodunit thing going on.
Which
and
is just weird and stupid. But
I
okay.
thought it was interesting because usually with a haunting you have one ghost, but not split into two, and where you have one aspect that has no idea they're a ghost and it's all light and fluffy and corny and doofy, and then you have the night scary version of the same ghost who probably does know that they're dead and they are reliving the horrible moment that they died every single night. And it's this contrast that I really liked.
I mean, that was probably the only redeeming thing is that whole storyline. But come on, I can't believe you're like, the chemistry is fine. There was no connection. There was no chemistry. They were just two people. It was like, ugh.
They want there's this moment where they're like, let's play a game where we don't touch.
Oh my god, that was so stupid.
Where they get as close to the other person, but they don't touch.
Because
and they're
they
like,
can't touch
ooh.
because she's an effing ghost.
But she doesn't know that.
Doesn't matter.
Or she knows subconsciously.
Yeah, she knows.
But she's not thinking about it. However, anyways, what did you rate it? Or what would you rate it between, I think, 1 and 5 stars?
-5.
You cannot do negative.
Fine, a 1.
Okay. All right. I gave it 4.
What's wrong with you?
It's better than the Batman book that I read, which I gave like 3.5. I enjoyed this book because when you read these books, you have to take it for what it's worth and not as a book in general. You have to take it based off of everything that you know about, for instance, Nicholas Sparks and everything. I think that some stories are better, but I think there's a lot of other stories of his that are far worse. So you have to take it at what it's worth there. Anyways, that brings us to our main event of the episode. Wait, did you hear?
Wait, did you hear?
Hear what, dear?
Did you hear? Did you hear? Now listen here.
So, this week we had a lot of stuff going on. We had our Grammy nominations that were announced.
Yeah, I did see that, and I'm pretty sure I don't know who any of the people are.
I mean, you've heard some of them. Obviously, the Record of the Year nominees, some of them went to, of course, Bad Bunny, Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar, among others.
Okay, fine. At least I've heard of all of them, but Bad Bunny I've only heard about
because of the Super Bowl. That's true. Me too.
Yeah.
So I don't follow a lot of music trends, so almost none of this matters to me at all. But I was kind of surprised to hear that Lady Gaga had a new album.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
It's just, as far as I know, it hasn't really been on the news, but I don't follow much music.
She's never really been my favorite. Like, I don't have a problem with her, but I also don't love her songs either, so I probably wouldn't pay attention one way or the other.
Yeah. And so we also had the first teaser trailer for a highly anticipated Michael Jackson biographical film. And this stars Michael's actual nephew, Jafar Jackson, as Michael. It's got a lot of people talking, somewhat in terms of him.
Does it?
Yeah, because
I've never heard of it.
Yes, some people are saying that he looks like MJ, but it really has a lot more to do with the voice. The voice is really good in the trailer. You only hear a snippet of it, but it sounds perfect. So people are either praising him for really doing a great job in the voice, and some people are also saying it's done a little bit by AI.
No. Probably all of them.
Because, well, if you've gone through some AI videos right now, they have a Michael Jackson one that they got his voice down pat. So obviously it could be if they wanted it to be, I'm sure. But it is his nephew. So, I mean, a lot of his family members do sound like him a little bit. Even his sister, Janet, sounds a lot like Michael if you think about it. Anyways, also, if you're a fan of Stranger Things, the 5th season's going to come up soon, and they released the first 5 minutes of the premiere of that. I watched it, and it doesn't really show you too much, but it kind of gives you an idea of the vibes. Got a little more of the character Vecna, and what happened with Will in, I think prior to the first season. So it's some interesting stuff there. Only the first 5 minutes, so you don't get to see a lot. But let's talk about that Starbucks cup.
You hadn't heard about it.
No, I didn't. You had to show me. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
People are obsessed with this stupid glass bear Starbucks cup that apparently all these stores just got 2 per store to sell, and people are fighting over it, and they're buying it for $30 and then reselling it on eBay for $300. It's just nuts.
It doesn't make sense to me. What is it about this cup? I mean, to me, you know what it looks like? It looks like a honey jar.
Yeah, and that's what some of the people are joking, because they'll take a honey jar and be like, I didn't get my Starbucks cup, but here, I made my own.
I don't get it, though. Why would anybody be rushing off to get it?
I don't know.
Just because they've never seen anything like it?
But the thing is that they have.
It's such an odd thing. Imagine trying to put that in your cupboard. It's just so oddly shaped, and it would take up so much room.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cute, but I also have no desire to have one.
So, yeah. So we have a Starbucks cup that's causing fights. I wonder if our Starbucks is selling them.
I did actually wonder about that myself, but again, I don't care enough to go find out.
Also this week, we had a magazine release for The Sexiest Man Alive, which turns out to be Jonathan Bailey.
And he is, I would say.
He's attractive.
He's very attractive.
He reminds me of a couple of other actors. He always has.
Except for the first season of Bridgerton with those sideburns. I did not like that look.
I was okay with it.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad look. But then once they got rid of the sideburns, then I'm like, yes, absolutely.
You just don't like sideburns.
Maybe.
I don't mind sideburns. Anyways, so in that same issue, they also had these kind of reunion photos of old TV shows that we watched when we were either young or we rewatched. So, we have One Tree Hill in there, as well as Gilmore Girls. Now, I don't know if you saw Scrubs, but they also had that.
No, I didn't watch that.
Okay, because the reason why I know, for instance, One Tree Hill, they have a sequel series coming up.
They do,
at some point. Who knows when. But they've been all over my social media feed.
Yes,
all over it. Because they also have reunion tours or events that they have in... Is it Wilmington?
Wilmington.
Yeah.
But then I also saw where they were in Paris. And I'm like, why are they in Paris?
So they do that every single year. It's their own little convention, their little con, which is kind of cool. They had literally everybody there. I feel like they had the brothers, Chad and James. Lafferty. Yeah. I can't even think of his name. Yeah,
it's James.
And they had Corbin, whatever, Whitey. They had him there. They had Dan.
Tyler Hilton.
Tyler Hilton's
your favorite.
Has always been. He's funny in his viral videos that he's been doing with all the other people, but
I actually really liked his album that he released. Probably
I think they're releasing another one with him and
Bethany Joy.
Bethany, yeah.
I would probably be into listening to that because I actually really liked their songs together in the show, and I really liked his album.
Yeah, so they are coming out with a sequel series with One Tree Hill, but they're also coming out with a sequel series for Scrubs next year in February. I almost wanted to go back and watch all of Scrubs leading up to that, but you're talking about 180 episodes or so. Ugh. So you're talking, you gotta watch a lot every single day. And then Gilmore Girls doesn't have anything coming up, I don't think.
Well, there's always rumors because it's just so beloved.
Right. Now, the guy who plays Luke, he's been on social media recently advertising for some kind of tour going on at Warner Brothers Studios where I don't know if he's playing himself, playing his character of Luke during this tour where people can go into a coffee shop and get coffee from him or something. Mm-hmm. And he's doing it all week or something. I'm not entirely sure. I'm very confused as to what that was because it wasn't very marketed very well. A couple other things happened this week. Dick Cheney died. this guy named Mom Donnie won an election.
Oh, that was a big deal.
That was a big deal, but like he's not the only person that won, but a lot of people are talking about him specifically.
Well, that's because so many people were against him winning, and so like it was just this really hot contested matter. But yeah, he won.
And I guess the main event of this Wait Did You Hear section is that we watched the premiere episode, not the 2 episodes, because there are 2 episodes available, but we watched the first episode of Pluribus, which is a brand new show that is created by Vince Gilligan, who of course was the same guy who made other shows such as Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And the craziest thing about him is the way that he advertises his shows for the most part. Even his, like the next episode, this, the way he markets it, he doesn't tell you much about it at all. He kind of gives you a hint. He has a teaser that means nothing, but is kind of curious. And then he just kind of lets you go into it blind. And that's what I did with Pluribus. And this is kind of going right back to our Body Snatchers theme, because the show is essentially a Invasion of the Body Snatchers type of narrative.
Yeah, it wasn't that interesting.
What are you talking about? Wasn't that interesting? It was crazy.
It was not that interesting.
So what happens is they get like these signals from space, I guess, about how to change your DNA to RNA, I suppose. I don't know what that entirely means, but it's not aliens per se that are swapping bodies with people, but it's turning people into this like hive mind of people where you spread the disease through saliva, which is very Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And
no, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Those were like weird pod things.
It depends on the version that you watch.
Okay.
But yes, like kissing people specifically, that was another thing. Or in the version with Daniel Craig, they were like throwing up in each other's mouths and stuff. However, it was very exchanging of bodily fluids.
Okay.
But they go into a trance for a little while, and then they wake up and they act really weird. They don't act like normal people, and they all talk at the same time. They all have a hive mind. They are all one, except for one person on the planet. 11. There's 11 people on the planet. You're right. I forgot about that part. But we're only focused on one. And it's this one woman, this author, who's apparently enabled to be affected by their virus.
Yeah.
But the aliens, the RNA species, whatever you want to call them, are on a mission to find a way to convert her so that she can join them. It's very interesting to me because it's not just Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it is also, there's a lot of stories out there. I can't even think of one particular where everybody has like no emotions, where everybody's kind of like the same thing, and it's about fighting against the system of being like them. A lot of dystopic sci-fi movies, I think like Equilibrium might be one example, where a lot of people don't feel anything. Or the Giver's even kind of one too, where they don't have a hive mind or anything, but they're all very similar people. And so it's about fighting against that and bring back a sense of normal back to the world. That's what I think.
Well, normal isn't that great right now, so I actually don't have a problem with the hive mind junkie, no violence, just being whatever, because it's a little bit crazy out there.
A little bit. However, I think that the show was done well. Very well. It was shot very well. It had a good sense of some tension. It was like Vince Gilligan stepped away from what he was normally doing and was trying his hand at sci-fi, I guess, a little bit. But still, I think it still had his flair. I like him as a director and a writer. The way that he shoots his stuff, I think, is very smart in just the smallest of ways that mean a lot.
Okay, I'm going to recommend people skip it.
I'm going to recommend... Watch it. If you're a fan of Vince Gilligan, especially his other shows, watch it. I think it's one of the best new series out there. That, along with Welcome to Derry. Now, we move on to grievances and gratitude.
Gripes and thanks, hand in hand. Life's a mess, but ain't it grand? Don't give me that attitude. It's grievances and gratitude.
I'll be honest, I don't have anything to feel gratitude, I don't think about. Anything specific. Other than you, of course. Other than your existence.
Yeah, okay.
But you had grievances. One was being the hacking thing.
Yeah.
But I think that we both have the same exact grievance in terms of daylight savings time.
Yes.
Well, we talked about this in the last episode too.
Yeah, but my internal clock is still on the old time. So I have been waking up every damn morning at 4 a.m. because my body is just like, it's 5. It's time to get up. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually 4 now. Shut up and go back to sleep. But I can't. So I am exhausted.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say daylight savings time. It's like a little mini jet lag. And that's what it feels like because it's only an hour. That's all it is. But it makes a difference. Just a small difference. Just enough to annoy you.
Well, it's not just being annoyed. Like, I am losing an hour of sleep every night because of this.
Well, that may be so. However, I think that in terms of daylight saving times, like we said in the last episode, it shouldn't be a thing.
No.
It should never have been a thing in the first place. I don't know why you need to save daylight. It just confuses the brain. Because, again, we learn from a young age how the world revolves around the sun and how we get longer days and shorter days throughout the seasons, and we all accept it. So why can't we just leave it at that?
I don't know, but this is some BS.
Like, whatever. Anyways, so again, that's the grievances and gratitude, which brings us to.
I actually do have some gratitude.
You do?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We had a friend that had a health scare, and it turned out to be A-okay.
That's good. Yes, you're right.
That's good news.
You're right. I wasn't thinking about that. So what happens and throughout the week when we run into these things, we're supposed to write it down.
Yeah. Well.
But that is a good thing. So, yay.
Yes.
Yay. Brings us to the gamer surprise. So this time, I guess it was on me. I guess it's going to go back and forth with this. But I decided to come up with a game to play. And I thought 20 questions. That's what I'm thinking on. So either you come up with something that I should guess through 20 questions, or I come up with something that you should guess, or both.
Can I just skip this part?
No. So you come up with something, I'll try to guess what it is. Okay? Which it can be anything, right? I think. It can be person, place, thing.
Okay.
Just tell me when you're ready.
All right, I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay.
I did the first thing that popped into my mind, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Is it a person?
No.
Is it a place?
No.
Oh. Is it a thing?
Yep.
All right, good. I got part of it. Is it a living thing?
I don't think so.
What does that mean?
It means I'm not a scientist. No.
That's okay. That doesn't make okay. Is it smaller than a loaf of bread?
I hope so.
What do you mean you hope so? Is it a yes or no?
Yes.
These are not helpful at all. Oh my god. Okay, so smaller than a loaf of bread. Is it something you use on a daily basis?
Oh god, I hope not.
What does that mean?
No.
Alright, something you don't use on a daily basis. Okay. Is it something you hold in your hand?
Maybe.
God, this is terrible. I'm never going to be able to guess it. Maybe.
You probably shouldn't.
Probably shouldn't touch it?
Well, you shouldn't hold it.
Shouldn't hold it. Okay, so it's something I don't want to hold.
Do you give up?
No, hold on. All right. Is it normally found in one area of the house?
I suppose.
Is it poop?
No.
No? Dang it. I could have sworn it was poop. Because we shouldn't touch it?
But you're on the right track, I would say.
Oh. Okay. Right track. Is it found in the bathroom normally?
I mean, it could be, but
Could
no.
be. Sure. But on the right track of poop. Is it a body part?
No.
Is it a liquid?
I guess.
What do you mean you guess?
Well, it could be either, I suppose. So, I mean,
Either what?
either a liquid or a solid. I mean, there's variation.
But it's not poop. Liquid or a solid. But you shouldn't hold it.
Probably not. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't hold it.
That's
but like, it's
true
just
with poop,
weird
too.
if you do it.
That's also true with poop. Is it, so it's not normally found in the bathroom, but can be, you said?
Yeah.
You said it could be solid, it could be a liquid. Could it be a gas?
No.
Okay, only solid liquids, so does that mean that it freezes?
Yeah, I suppose it would freeze if you put it in the freezer.
Should you put it in the freezer?
No.
But it's not poop.
No.
Is it edible?
Some people might think so. You probably shouldn't.
Okay. Is it a common item?
Yeah.
Does everybody have it?
Yeah.
I only have 2 questions left.
That's okay. Then I win.
God. Does it have a smell?
That's a difficult question. I don't know.
How do you not know?
I mean, it might, but I don't know. I don't think so.
I have 1 question left.
Yeah.
So stay away from touching it. It could be solid or liquid. It might have a smell. It's smaller than a loaf of bread. Can freeze, but you shouldn't freeze it. You don't know if it's a living thing or not.
I mean, I'd have to inspect it in a microscope to be able to answer that.
Oh, it's incredibly small.
Not incredibly small, but like to know if there's anything living.
You talking about like bacteria?
Yeah. I don't know.
Everything has bacteria on it. That's not what makes it living, though.
Okay, then fine. It's probably not a living thing, but there's probably living things in it.
But it's not a body part.
Nope.
It doesn't come from the body.
No, it does.
Oh, it does come from the body, but it's not poop.
No.
Is it puke?
No.
That's it. That's all I had.
Boogers!
You know what? I had boogers in the back of my mind, but I was like, that doesn't make sense with some things.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if it has a smell. It comes from your nose. How would you know if it has a smell?
Well, if it's come from your nose, you should know all the time. You should always know what it smells like because it's in your nose.
And like you shouldn't hold it.
I would say, but you do because it's in the hanky.
Well, yeah, but like if you're just walking around with boogers in your hand, like that's not good. And some people do eat them. You shouldn't, but they do.
Okay, fine. Boogers. God, why is so many of that fit with poop?
Because it's comes from the body and it's just kind of...
You cannot say I would hope so if it's smaller than a loaf of bread.
Well, if it's
not
smaller than a loaf of bread, you got a problem.
You're sure, but can you tell me at any point has there ever been a booger that's bigger than a loaf of bread?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because your
either.
nose is smaller than a loaf of bread.
But what if it's like one of those things where you just keep blowing it out and it just keeps coming? I don't know.
It's like a cartoon or something. God,
I don't know.
It's Looney Tunes. Okay, so I guess I lose. I can come up with something you want to guess. You want to do that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's it for the episode then. Once again, You can check out our episode description for our links to our Facebook and other things like that. You can find our podcast wherever you get them, except for Spotify for reasons. You could check us out. Once again, there is no real recipe this episode, so there won't be a link to a recipe or anything.
You could do like you could just do pictures.
You do pictures, which you can find on Facebook. I did post a picture of like a homemade recipe or not homemade ramen on there anyway. So you can follow us on there and talk to us if you've ever had homemade ramen, and if you have any tips and tricks to make it the best it can be. Do not tell us eggs, because I will not put eggs in my ramen.
You're such a hoe.
No, well, your mom won't either. I talked to her.
I would.
But yeah, so subscribe, give us a rate, tell us what's up, email us any weird things that you find throughout the week that you want us to talk about. And until next week, peace out.
Bye.